Hello guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be the ultimate Himmelmatt Expo guide. We're going to be going through the callouts, we're going to be going through some wallbang spots, some good line of sights, and just general tactics to improve your chance of winning your games when you come across this map on control on ranked play. So first things first, let's do the callouts. So we're going to be starting off this area now. This whole place is called Street. If they're spawning this side, it's called Flags. We're then going to be moving around the map anti-clockwise and then moving ourselves back to here where we're going to be going through the tips and tricks. So this is Street or Flags. We then move towards this area. So you've got Bus. So this general area is Bus, and if someone's on top of it, you can say he's on the bus. You've got White Van, Tent. You've got, this is Diner. So this is top Diner in here, and this is like back Diner, this sort of general area back here. You've then got Wolf, and you're thinking, why Wolf? Why? What? How does that make any sense? Because of the wolf. Now these comms obviously aren't official comms, and probably every team's going to make up their own, but generally speaking this is what we use when my team we're scrimming and things like that. So this is Wolf up here, as I said, top Diner, balcony out here. Down here you have bottom Diner, you have showers because for obvious reasons. And then we move down to this sort of area now. So this sort of area with these are all actually saunas, but I like to call this spa. One less syllable makes it more efficient. If you want to be more specific, you can say chimney. If someone's hiding behind here or something, you can say this is chimney. And then when we move up to here, this is called snow or tree. Now it's a bit deceiving. I don't like tree because there's trees everywhere really. So I like to call this general area snow. This moves us back to back here where we're going to be calling this yellow truck. So that's just this sort of area. And then we've got white truck, which is over here. So when you're trying to call out which side they're spawning, whether it's over here or over here, you can either call out yellow truck or sign or white truck back here. We then move into this sort of area here. Now this is either called, if you sort of like this sort of area, it's called lounge. So this is generally called lounge. As soon as you get to the front of this place here, me and my team call this glass, so a lot of people chow pretty much straight up like this, and if there's someone here where I am currently, we just call this glass, but if they're anywhere back in here, we call it glass, we call it lounge, sorry. This then moves us over to the lobby, which covers this just whole general section. You've then got vending, which is down here because of the vending machines. I like to try and tell you guys why I'm calling things it, so it's sort of easier to remember, so hopefully it helps. And then down here you've got lift or elevator, depends on where you're from. And then back here, this sort of area is called forklift. So the whole area here is called backstage, but it's up to you. It's a little bit long-winded, so I like to call this forklift, this area sort of lift, and then we go back to up here. So from here you've then got the bar. This whole thing's just called bar for the main reason that is a bar. Fairly self-explanatory. You've got pool, which is this hot general vicinity. That whole thing there is called ramp. And then obviously we run through vending, which we've already covered. This is stage. This is called, I mean, I'm not really sure. We don't really have a call out for this. We call this lift. So it's probably more convenient to call that elevator and then calling this lift. You've then got stage, as I said. This whole stairway up here is called secret. You've then got conference, which is just this general area, because that's what it's for. You've got bottom cat, so catwalk is above us. So you go up secret, and all of that up there is catwalk. You've then got bottom catwalk or bottom cat, depending on what you want to say. Obviously, it's quicker to say cat. And then this moves us out to double stairs. So these are double stairs up here. You've got globe, which is just this general area. So if anyone's out here generally, if some say we're spawning down here, I'd say our side globe or their side globe, depending on which side they are. You then got reception, which is further back here. That's plainly put by here. And then that sort of brings us back to where we started, although I've missed a little bit. This room's called blue, and then this area is called bird. And the reason for that is because of that little thing up there, little birdie up there. And yeah, and we're back round to flags or street. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it's fairly simple. I try and make them as efficient as possible. Now let's move into the tips and tricks. So the only sort of game mode you play on this on ranked is control, and one of the horrible spawns to get trapped in is these bird spawns down here. Now it's very often you see that someone's either sitting on top of the lorry or generally in that area. Be aware when you come up here, it might be a good idea to stick to this left wall, lay down, and then you've got a lovely little stair head glitch on them here. So you're going to be able to beam them like so. Chances are they are going to be up there by 10 because that's how you end up spawning back here. What I like to do is somehow get across behind this van, back myself up, jump onto this railing just like so, and then you've got a nice little heady onto anyone who might be sitting on top of the bus. I can't remember. I forgot what it was called. Other than that, there's not too much else over here. Pretty simplistic as a map generally. There's more wallbang spots than anything else. Worth noting, you can get around here and under here. So if you end up losing somebody around this area, always worth checking behind here. An obvious spot, if people are spawning back here, is just to be on this balcony, but you can be either side. It won't block it if you're even on that side. You have to be actually down there to block the spawn under there. And it's in essence, I mean, if we look at the map here, B point is on the stage here. A point is in the showers down here. When there's only a point to get, you really want someone pushed up this left side of the map, maybe at coach or bus. It basically spawns them in these two areas, either in blue or bird. And then from where I am, you can see them here. And really, they've got a long way to get to where they've got to get through us. They've got to get through this people up here. You don't want to hold them in this spawn if there's only B to get, because it's an easy way for them to just run out there straight into the conference, and they're pretty much at B. You sort of want to be blocking this spawn and forcing them back to spawn back left near the bus, if that is the case. Yeah, nice little bit to hold here. Again, if you're trying to get out of this spawn and you're trying to be cruddy, there's stair glitches everywhere in this map. It's full of stairs, and it makes a mean heady that you can't really contest at. So this moves us on to bus area, and obviously you can get on top of the bus, like so. So if you know someone's sort of chilling around here, I like to jump up onto the bus here and like sort of pre-aim everything. If someone's on those stairs head glitching, you've got a better chance of winning them the gunfight from here, because they're not really going to be expecting to be up here. But at the end of the day, if someone is on that head glitch, GG's, because they're going to win that unless they're bots. Now, if my responsibility is to be up here blocking the spawns and force them to spawn at bird or blue, this is a lovely little spot. You can lie down here. You can barely see any of your body as an opponent, and you can pick them off if you've got a good AR, and you can control the recoil more importantly. Other than that, pretty much covers it from here. You can get on top of this lamp here, but that doesn't really provide any usefulness. This map, I'm going to be talking about a lot of spawn traps, a lot in this game, in this gameplay. Sorry, simply because that all in control, that is all you want to do. So another place I like to sit, excuse me, is here. So if you're blocking, you're actually blocking spawns whilst you're here. And from this point of view, you can see anyone running out of this door. You can see anyone cross into the back street, and you've really got them pinned in. You're doing a huge job while you're being here. You can see two angles, and you're also spawning them out over at the bird spawns. Other than that, this area is pretty dead. There's not much going here. You can obviously get on top of these bins and then chal out from a different height just to catch someone off guard. But generally speaking, there's not much to talk about. If someone is up here contesting me, I do like to lay down behind here rather than crouch behind here. It's a very low barrier, so you're not quite hidden. So yeah, I like to lay down here. And then likewise, if you are defending here, you can stair glitch this. It's cruddy, it's disgusting, but it's going to win you gunfights if you want to play that game. Similarly, off the rip, a lot of people like to chow ramp because you can get A really quickly. Enemy teams end up running through the glass here, and a lot of people just straight up chow. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but once, you're going to die pretty easy like that. However, you can lay down and head glitch these little bars. You can do it down here as well, depending on how low you want to get. And then from here, it's an impossible heady for them to shoot at. And then from here, get a couple kills, work way up to bar, and you should catch a couple of people off guard running up here as well. So yeah, nice little heady on those. Now, when we're talking about the diner, not much to talk about. Obviously, you can get on top of everything, like so. But a couple of things worth noting are a couple of really good wallbang spots. So let's say the enemy team are capping A and you need to get them off it. A very common place for them to sit, especially if they're an AR, is this corner or this corner. So let's say they're here. If you manage to get yourself into this position, a very easy spot to get them in is if you just sit on the stairs and you shoot them through here. Obviously, you can tell this goes through because I'm getting hit markers. And similarly, if someone's in this corner, you can be preferably towards the more top of the stairs. There we are. and then you can shoot them like so. And you probably get reported because you're wall banging, but at the end of the day, it's a nice little trick that most people don't know about, and you will clear them out of these corners because they're very common places to sit. Moving over towards Spa, a nice little thing to note is you can jump on top of these little chairs. Oh, unless you have auto mantle on, you can jump on top of the. Oh, you don't need to actually jump on that at all. You can just jump straight up like that. And then from here, you've got a nice little head glitch looking up to glass, looking up to bar. You sort of have coverage over this site here as well. People won't expect it, and it's worth doing. Another thing I'd like to mention is that you can actually get on top of this little thing here. You are very exposed to the left, to the right here, but chances are you're only really up here if people are spawning at the bus. And you can jump up onto this tree. And then from here, if you spam crouch, you can see through this gap. And this is actually all wall bangable as well. So if you notice someone's there, wall bang it, and then they're dead. So if someone's standing here, obviously you've got that little advantage there. You can kill them here. It's a nice little spot to take people off guard, generally. It's also worth noting that you can get on top of each of these, and they do actually provide some use. So, especially this one here, this doesn't look like much cover, especially if you crouch. However, if you lay down and you're trying to chow someone out from bar, they've got basically a pinprick to shoot, whereas you've got the whole amount of their body probably if they're shooting. Whilst we are here, it's worth mentioning that if someone is at the bar, all of that wooden wall is wall bangable completely, so you will be able to kill people through that and continue shooting at them if you find a wall bang. Again, you can lay down behind here if you're trying to chow someone bar or glass, but it's not quite as good because you're open to more areas. But again, you can do it up here as well. If someone's up there or you're challenging people over here, you can lay down behind this. It's a nice little bit of cover. Now, let's say you spawn in here, you notice someone's in bar and they're trapping you in. You see them get caught. If you can dive behind here, and you can actually shoot through here. So if you come back a little bit, your bullets do go through, and you can shoot them like that. Otherwise, you've got a nice little heady that you can chow off from here as well. And you can really control how much of your body is exposed by just moving forward and backwards. So yeah, nice little trick. Again, you can get on top of these from any which way, to be honest. Another thing I'd like to mention is that I see a lot of people letting them capture A by challenging them. Instead, what I like to do is just contest out here. So, for example, if they're in the showers, contest out here, and then from there, they're going to chow out to chow you, and then you know, bring the gunfight to yourself rather than wait for them, rather than bringing it to them. Bear in mind as well, you can jump on top of these, and whilst you're up here, you can actually, I thought you could, get on top of here. Doesn't provide much use, gotta be honest, but it's worth noting if someone kills you from up here, at least now you won't be quite so shocked. There we are. Get there in the end. This probably is a little bit more useful if you're trying to, you know, defend spar area. You can kill the people here, but realistically, people at glass can see your legs. Not an ideal situation. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recommend it, but it's just worth noting so you guys know. Whilst we're in the pool, obviously there are more stairs. So when you're here, if you lay down, you can see the whole of spar here, or head glitching, stair glitching, sorry. And similarly, you can do something here. Come to the edge of the pool, chow here. You can chow left. You can even watch the ramp if you want. It's absolutely disgusting, but there we are. So whilst we're over this sort of general direction, if you have got a teammate pushed up the left and they are spawning in the little blue room or the bird, if you come here, you've got a nice heady to watch them cross over into from bottom cat through to conference. It's even better if that's sort of pushed the other way. You can sit behind here like so and just beam them as they cross. If you've got attack, you're going to kill them very quickly, and they won't have really much of a chance. But if you've got someone sort of in conference anyway, they'll be able to finish off your kills, and you're going to be doing a great amount of work for your team. Let's move on to further round. I like to sit in this spot. Say, for example, you're on offense, you're trying to capture A. If you're back here, the enemy will probably spawn in like back lobby sort of area. And from here, you've got a nice little head glitch that you can control really easily from like their spawn onto point. You can even challenge glass from up here, so you can either pull back up here and challenge people or challenge the window. But generally speaking, the only way they're going to kill you is if they're right around here, because everything else is sort of in your line of sight. Absolute god spot. I love to abuse it. We then move further up here. You can jump onto this little wall thing here and then get up onto the sign. And this is nice to be able to chow someone on that head glitch there at Wolf, or left stairs. It's up to you. Wolf is a bit of an acquired taste, but up there. and you can also chow balcony as well. You can also get on top of yellow here, so you just jump up onto this little bit here and hop up like so. This is again a nice little spot to chow that head over, that head glitch over there. They're not really going to be expecting this as much. Then from here, you can come to the sign if you wish. You can then also get onto this van, but then you've got to hop off really quickly, otherwise you die. So it might throw someone off. If you're trying to be a bit wicked with your movement, you can jump up on there, play a little bit around and dive over. But yeah, not really much use, to be honest. This then moves us into lounge. Gotta be honest, there's really not much to note, but if you are the sort of person who likes to chow ramp off the rip, I like to lay down. So you run around here, and I like to literally lay down. You can then beam people. They're aiming at a really small point of view, and if they're stood up, you're going to win that gunfight most of the time. You can throw a nade like so. Other than that, not really much else happening over here. One thing I do want to mention, which is absolutely lovely, is that, say for example, you're capping B and you want to push out spawns, you want to spawn them over at the snow area here. If you can get yourself behind this door, you're going to be catching everyone off guard. They're not going to really know where you are until you get a couple of kills, but you're going to get some nice freebies as they try and run to help defend B. Similarly, you can get on top of all these, by the way, just as a little something worth noting perhaps. Similarly, you can jump up on top of these boxes and get on top of this truck, and then from here, you can stand on top of the door. Now, this is an absolutely disgusting spot because I'm pretty sure you're blocking spawns here, so they're going to be spawning over at snow or front lobby, front lounge, sorry. And then from here, you're going to be able to catch anyone running through to help them at B. But you've also got that cut back through to the sign here. So if you're here, you're actually blocking a really nice spawn. And you actually do see a couple of people spawn in from here as well. So as long as they don't change spawns, it's an absolutely gnarly spot. Unfortunately, then you can't jump into that window or any of the windows. It's a shame, but you're stuck to see being on the door. But even so, disgusting spot. Let's move down to vending. So let's say you're trying to defend it, or you want to attack someone on it. You can get on top of these vending machines, and it's a nice little spot to be able to watch people running through secret like so. And similarly, if you want to do it this way around, you can catch people off guard by being up here and then spray them as they chow out. Other than that, this sort of area is pretty naff. Let's move on to bar. So from here, it's worth noting that you can jump. So if you are playing for info for your teammates, you can jump, get a little bit of info, and then wall bang straight through, because, as I said, it's all wall bangable from both sides. And in fact, from here, this is all wall bangable. So if you know someone's in the cat, so let's do this for an example. You can actually, as long as you're not shooting the brown bit here, if you're shooting the white bit, you can actually wall bang all the way through. So if you know someone's there, it's an absolutely disgusting way to get a freebie. This then does move us to the beacon. So this general area is B controlled. And while we're here, there's, again, not much to say. If you are defending again, there's more stairs. So you could stair glitch this and catch people off guard running into here. But if your team are on B and you want to hold this whole side, a nice little spot I like to lay or sit down is over here. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be able to kill anyone coming out of elevator, as well as anyone running around the forklift side. You can jump up onto this little box here, and you got a nice little sort of a heady. Not really useful, but it's not bad. And then similarly, you can get onto the forklift this side and do a similar thing if you want to, depending on which side you want, really. From here, whilst you're on point, it's worth noting that you can actually get on top of the ladder, like so. And then, you know, if you know your teammates have got everything else covered, this is a nice little angle to catch people off guard, whether you're watching right or left. Easy peasy. You can obviously jump up onto here, where you can have a nice angle to watch bottom cat or maybe vending. It's a nice little position. And then again, stair glitches. They're everywhere. You can stair glitch both left and right. If you're here, you can stair glitch this whole area, the side of the map. You can do it in the middle. You can do it on the left. It's just disgusting. Other than that, nothing too much to note. So let's work our way back round to the beginning. So if I am up here in cat and I'm trying to chow someone at B, or I'm just sort of holding this sort of area, I don't like to be at the window. It takes one person to come around and chow me, or I'll get beamed through the wall bang like I showed you before. It's going to be an obvious spot. Instead, I like to get up on here and chow like so. You are a little bit more covered from, you know, people right beneath you. And if anyone tries to chow you like here, they're not going to see you straight away. chances are they're going to try and shoot you through this. They're not going to be able to, and then you can chill out knowing that they're there. Other than that, guys, I'm pretty sure that does it. Obviously, as time goes on, there are going to be more and more credit spots for you guys to work on. People are going to be doing all sorts in the CDL as well as, you know, the Challenger scene. But yeah, that's all I've got so far. If there's any I've missed, feel free to drop it in the comments so you can share the awareness with everyone else. And that's going to do it. Enjoy the rest of the day, guys, and take care. Ciao.